guys? Welcome back to Tactical Pontoon. We've got the zoom lens today. That right there is the baby Trigger Jedi sticker. That's my basic one. And then here's the full-size one. So you can see we are definitely zoomed in today. That means we're going to look at something up close. And these are fun. So what are we going to be looking at? Well, we're going to be looking at a slide. We're going to be looking at a slide from, whoops, knocked my box around. We're going to be looking at a slide from Palmetto State Armory. This is, and I do not have the actual SKU for this because I picked this guy up for a stupid deal. And that is the thing about the PSA slides already. They're already great price. This, I believe, is the Extreme Carry. I bought this second hand. So, again, I do not have the exact model that this is. But I believe this is the Extreme Carry cut. And it's got an RMR. It's got an RMR optic plate on it. It has the tall co-witness sights. Front is an Ameriglow. Let's get it. Here we go. An Ameriglow front sight, which does have a tritium dot on it. So really nice. Let me get myself out of here. My little Trigger Jedi out of here. We will try to show everything up close. So, all right, this slide is approximately, from what I can tell, anywhere from about $200 to $250. This one is FDE Cerakote. They've got DLC on the website and other options. There's a lot of different options on these guys. So, is this a good deal? Is this something that you can trust? Is it something that maybe on one of your builds you can run? Let's find out. Let's take a close look. Like I said, for this type of price, for a fully optioned out slide with a barrel already, a threaded barrel, for that type of price, you're almost in what used to be like rock slide pricing, which is a company that I definitely do not recommend. So how about Palmetto? Are they going to be something that you might be able to consider? So what I'm going to do real quickly is I'm going to start by taking this guy apart off camera here. So if you give me just a second, I'm going to take it apart so that we can look at the individual pieces real quick. Right there's the threaded barrel adapter there. That's not a big, or threaded barrel cap. That's not a big deal. If that changes your mind about whether this is something you need, you know, maybe we're getting a bit too nitpicky here. Basic knurled thread protector. No big deal there. The one thing that was kind of neat that I noticed with the barrel is they actually put an O-ring on it. A lot of your aftermarket high-end barrels. Let's see if we can brighten it up here a little bit. There we go. All right. It has an O-ring already on it, which is kind of neat. A lot of your aftermarket barrels do not come with that. Looking down the barrel, it follows more of a traditional style rifling. Can't really show that on camera here. I don't know if it's gonna. Yeah. Well, we can try. We can try here. This is going to be a little bit longer of a video than some of my latest ones. Yeah, I don't think that's not gonna happen. You can kinda. Yeah. Okay, well, anyways, it's a barrel. It seems to be just about on par with, and that is the one thing about this zoom lens, it catches all of the little hairs and dirt and crap, so, you know, you get to see everything. It's a barrel. I have heard from different people that sometimes these barrels do need the feed ramps polished. really looks like a barrel of about normal quality. I've not seen any defects when I looked at it up close. Glock barrels, they've been out and around so long, aftermarket versions, that really these blanks have become relatively cheap. For good quality for relatively cheap. So you're going to find some good barrels out there for what seems to be impossibly good prices. The thread up front is your standard half 28, so nothing special there, no metric thread or anything like that. Really looks to be a good, solid barrel. Nothing I could really pick apart on that. The other parts we're gonna pull. Let me open up, get some internals. Now, the thing about a Dagger is, while it does use a proprietary striker, that striker is proprietary, but it's not something you cannot use a PSA Dagger striker in the a factory Glock slide or a Glock aftermarket slide, but you can use a Glock striker in a Dagger slide, and I'll explain that here in a moment. Here's our backplate, just a standard aluminum backplate. Is it aluminum? Okay, it is plastic. I'm sorry. It's plastic with the aluminum or the stainless steel insert, similar to a factory Glock. Nothing special there. You can use your aftermarket Glock slide plates that are aluminum. This is basic stuff. Just so you can kind of see what you're getting. It is what it is. Okay, next up, here is our striker assembly. Very similar to a Glock. From what I can tell, it is metal injected molded, just like a factory Glock. Some people hate MIM. It is what it is, depending on where it's made. I've seen aftermarket strikers break just as much as factory Glock MIM strikers. This design up front at the nose is it's a weak point. That's one of the reasons why Gen 5 went to more of a rounded style. But in the end, I've seen those break too. So it's a wearable part. It's an item that maybe if you've got 10,000 rounds down the tube, change that guy out. This one, like I said, looks very similar to a factory Glock, but the difference here is this nose is wider. So if you try to put this in a Glock slide, it's not going to fit through the hole in the breech. However, if you put a factory Glock striker in your Dagger, you're not going to have that issue. So that's just something to think about. If you see these cheap and you want to throw it in your Glock slide, it's not going to work, but vice versa will. The included striker spring is a 5.5 pound, just like a factory Glock. Nothing too special there. The spring cups and whatnot here are basic factory style Glock. It's polymer cups and this little seat there. No big surprises. It looks high quality. I don't see any issues offhand. Like I said, it does appear to be MIM, metal injected molded, just like factory Glock stuff. So if you do not like that, you can replace it with any of the any of the other options on the market. But it appears to be high quality, nothing that I would consider an issue, and especially at this price point. Next up, we have for the Extractor, and it again appears very much like factory Glock stuff. Nothing that appears too far out of the ordinary. No real surprises, shall we say. You have your Extractor. This almost appears like a factory I don't believe it is. It looks like something that they produce themselves. And PSA, with their manufacturing capabilities, does not. It would surprise me if they bought them from somebody else instead of manufacturing it themselves at this point. They really are kind of a powerhouse when it comes to that. Again, nothing surprising, nothing that I see that tells me that you're going to have an issue. I don't believe the slides are really running into any sort of issues that I've seen in any of the groups. And your striker safety plunger, again, it mirrors a factory Glock. It's using the spring that it's using is a factory Glock weight. It's not a lightened plunger spring. Again, nothing terribly out of the ordinary there. And again, the plunger, it is not a rounded plunger. It is mirroring factory Glock stuff. Probably, again, metal injected molded. So if you're not a fan of that, you can go to an aftermarket style that is stainless. And you can also go with a rounded safety plunger from a Generation 3 Glock. Again, we're not seeing anything too terribly out of the ordinary here. We can look inside the slide here. Let's see if I can get my light moved so we can see inside this slide. Standard machining, nothing terribly special. It's not, it's not bad machining like I saw on some rock slides. You're seeing just general quality. I mean, I'm not seeing anything that sticks out to me. I don't know if this one has had any rounds put through it. I have not. But before I got it, like I said, I got it used from a third party. This is not the best. Let's see here. Let me see if I can adjust this to maybe get a better view. Like I said, it looks, the rails are clean the way they're machined. Nothing out of the ordinary. The machining is it's clean machine work. The Cerakote job is not bad. It's I know who does the Cerakote work. They're a good quality place that I would trust, and they've got the ability to do it in very large batches. So the Cerakote job is relatively good. I see nothing wrong with the Cerakote job. The cuts themselves, the machine, and I think they call this the extreme cut, but again, I'm not really. They have so many different options on the website. It's clean. Nothing out of the ordinary. This is a pretty decent looking slide. I'm not a huge fan of this chamfering up front. Some people really like it. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it takes a little bit too much material off, in my opinion. I've not seen any of these break, and really it's a good thick machined stainless steel. I don't know what grade it is. I'm gonna have to do a little bit farther research, but like I said, for a basic slide, and for this price. Even to run this as an EDC, I don't see really an issue with that. And like I said, the price is good. The price is excellent. You're looking at anywhere from $200 to $250 for a fully machined or a fully built out machined slide for your Glock Generation 1 through 3 or 1 through 4. Well, call it 1 through 4. You just got to get your adapter. Okay, the one issue that I would say some people are going to have, and again, you have to remember what this price point is, but I'm pulling the RMR cover plate off this guy. There's good and there's kind of iffiness. Okay, the good is you have these posts. Okay, these are good. They're a little small, and one of the reasons why they did this is the RMR cut itself has become kind of the industry standard, which they need to have a standard. I'm all for that. However, some of your optics are different. They have even though the basic footprint is standard, there's still variations, and with these style posts up front, you've got they're a bit small, so they're good, but they're not perfect. Again, at this price point, hey, I'm not complaining too much. Just make sure you've got your optic seated in there with not exactly Loctite. I prefer Vibratite, VC3 Vibratite. That's kind of what I prefer, and just go back and check them from time to time. But probably what may be a deal killer for some of you is the fact that the footprint, and I have another brand slide plate or optic cover plate, and you can see this is not going to be super tight fitting. Your optic is not going to be super tight fitting in this pocket. And I think they did this because some of your Hollisons have a larger footprint than like your RMRs. And just for ease of large scale manufacturing, because I know PSA is cranking out a ton of these things, to make it easier, to make it more friendly for some people, they basically gave a little bit of extra wiggle room, for good or bad. If you tighten those screws up and you get everything locked in place, you should be good, but go back and check your screws from time to time. Again, I'm not an optics master. This is just something I noticed and wanted to bring up to you guys. If it's a deal killer for you when it comes to optics, that's probably going to be a bigger gripe than anything else. Everything else, for the price point and for a price point above it, you're looking at a high quality slide for the money. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure which SKU this is, but anywhere from $200 to $250 for this guy is not bad. If you're looking to just throw a range beater together, or maybe an EDC that if you have to use it and you don't worry about losing it, this is not a bad option. Now again, when it comes time for you to build that guy, you're going to want the right trigger. And that trigger would be a tactical pontoon. I build for daggers all the time. I build for P80s, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 1, through any of the generations, shadow systems and whatnot. Get with me. I'll get you taken care of. And that has been my look at the PSA Dagger slide. This one ran a little bit long, but we did get to see things up close. If there's anything you want to know about it, my thoughts or otherwise, you can always leave a comment below or shoot me an email at tacticalpontoon@gmail.com. Check out the website. There's always something cool going on there. That has been my deep dive into the PSA Dagger slide. This one will probably go on one. This one will go on one of the shop builds. Probably get some new Cerakote just because I always do something kind of custom. But I'm gonna hold on to it. That's my thought. All right, I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.